Chaotically Nerdy is made by nerds for nerds. This podcast is made by adults for adults and children with bad parents. Adult language will be used and adult situations may arise. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Chaotically Nerdy. On today's episode, you have me, Tyler. You also have with me
Jarrett.
And the other bitch,
Ethan. Why were you looking at me? Like you're expecting Jarrett to answer, and you're looking straight at me.
He always does that.
I do it on purpose
Yeah, I
because
know.
I want to know.
Really
if you
throws me off.
I'm trying to.
I don't like it.
We have a
I
routine.
don't like it.
I'm
Tyler,
trying.
me, you.
I know, but I'm trying to see if I can fuck you guys up and
No.
get you to both say
I almost
either
did.
the wrong name or at the same time.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth. It's like what? No, I'm not going to say the wrong name. I know my name.
Are you sure?
No.
So to wrap everything up. All right, this episode of Chaotically Nerdy has been
a good one, boys.
been real good.
Yeah, it's like a minute long.
Yep.
It's the fastest one we ever did.
Just enough space for ad space.
Podcast, ad, outro.
Yep.
Done.
So today we're going to talk about some live action shows. We've talked about a lot of movies. We talked about some animated movies. And some of the shows, I guess, technically, considering we did
the catch-all for like pretty much everything else that we didn't have.
Everything else that we don't want to do a full...
Well, we could, but...
I mean, we don't want to do a full episode on the boys. That's just us talking about a dick exploding for an hour.
That was crazy, though.
You act like it's not a fucking... That wouldn't be a good time.
Oh, there's lots of other things to talk about with the boys.
Yeah, but it would be fun.
Yeah.
I'd do just a boys only episode.
Sure.
But let's just wrap it all up. So we're going to do Stop It. We're going to do The Boys, Stranger Things, The Witcher, and then we're also going to talk about some of the other shows, which I'm going to add one.
That's my list of
That's your list of your
shit that I've seen.
Gotcha.
I don't want to talk about The Witcher.
I don't care. I understand you're upset. We're all upset. We'll talk about it when we get there.
Okay. You can talk about it. I'm not talking about it.
I hate you so much.
I know you do.
So let's start it off with Stranger Things instead.
Sure.
We're not going to go in order of your list. Fuck your list, Jared.
All right. Oh, no. My feelings.
Yeah. I actually think we've talked about Stranger Things before.
A little bit here
yeah.
and there.
And so that's why I want to talk about it first.
Sure.
Get it out of the way. Did we talk about it after the newest season?
Don't think so. I think we was talking about
before?
it. I think
I
so.
think we did talk about it.
I can't
before.
remember.
Well, I think it was after most of the season came out
it might
because
have
they
been-
waited.
Yeah,
a
it might have
couple
been
months
part
there.
one.
Yeah, and we didn't do it, and we were gonna wait until after they came out with the rest of that season.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So just so everybody knows, there will be spoilers ahead. Now is the time.
Yeah, for
to
all these
say-
shows, because fuck
Yeah.
your feelings.
There's no point in trying to censor yourself.
Yeah.
So Stranger Things, obviously part 2, Eddie dies.
I'm tired of it. Tired of this fucking every time they introduce a good character and they kill him off.
He's coming back. You can't convince me.
well, at least
he's
they
not
finally
coming back.
gave Barb a little bit of justice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's true.
finally it took
7 years later.
7 years. It was so stupid.
You know how hard it is to make a bard good?
Barb,
Barb?
Barb.
like with a B, not a D.
You
I
know,
just said bard.
yeah, she doesn't have a D.
the one that died in the swimming pool, was friends with Nancy.
Yeah, I know
okay.
who it
Okay,
is.
making sure.
I just heard bard, and I was thinking of Eddie still because
Are you drunk?
it's 2:30 on a Sunday afternoon.
Maybe?
It's not Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving weekend, but it's
Oh,
not Thanksgiving.
Fair.
If it was Thanksgiving, I'd be drunk at 7
In the morning.
Yeah, nice.
Top of the morning to you, laddies. Oh.
So
Is there anything that we can think of that stands out that we absolutely hate about Stranger Things?
season 3.
Yeah, it's not like my favorite season. Like, it's fine, but
Remember what happened in season 3?
it's where they sing the fucking Never-Ending Story song.
Oh, God damn it.
I'm not.
They make some
It
weird
was funny.
choices.
And then it kept going, and I was like, all right.
Kept going.
All right. We went a little long here.
I don't really know if anything in season 1 that I really hated. I really
No.
enjoyed season 1. It just went kind of downhill until season 4.
Well, the plot's very similar every season. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
There's something on the other side that is trying to kill us. Okay.
I mean, it did change up a little bit in season 4,
Yeah.
a lot, but I think that's what really made it great. Though I really liked season 4.
Oh, I do too. Vecna. I cannot talk. I might be drunk. Shit, I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Drunk on that Vecnussy.
Oh dear. There is something I didn't like about Stranger Things in general, is them using the names and ideas behind D&D creatures, and then those creatures not being anything like what they said. Demogorgon is not anything like Demogorgon. He only has one head,
Yeah.
or they only have one head.
I wonder if that wasn't a copyright thing
It could have been.
Could have been.
where they were allowed to use the actual TSR names for like all that stuff, and then be like, all right, well,
You can't use the images.
But
basically.
the
The
Mind
likeness,
Flayer
yeah.
was just a large air elemental with psychic powers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know, I just thought it was really weird that they didn't at least try to stick a little closer to it. At least Vecna was closer.
Ish. I mean, he is in design.
Yeah. But it's still more demonic than Vecna was. Vecna is just a lich.
Yeah.
So, well, a god lich.
yeah, he's God now. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, I believe so. I'm trying to think. Besides Eddie, is there anybody that stands out as just amazing actors in there? Hopper. I'll say it
Hop,
first.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
I'll cut
Hop.
everybody off.
I really liked Bob, Sean
Yeah,
Astin.
Sean Astin.
Even the whole time, I'm like, he's fucking dying. He's fucking.
Oh
dying.
yeah, absolutely.
I love Murray.
Murray's
Yeah, Murray's-
fucking good.
Yeah,
I actually think Nancy over time gets a lot better.
yeah.
better.
Season 1, Nancy's annoying.
And really, but she's supposed to be annoying.
I
'Cause
know.
She's a kid, but
Yeah, and then she gets better.
yeah.
Which she's been
Oh,
doing
then
a lot of
obviously
shit too.
Steve.
Everyone loves Steve.
Everybody
Who
loves
doesn't
Steve.
love
Yeah,
Steve?
Steve's-
Him and Nancy have a very similar trail. Like they start off and you don't like them because Steve's kind of a douche at the start.
Kind of. He is a douche. But he gets.
He becomes a father.
They have the opposite story from Mike. Mike starts out good and becomes a jackass.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah, and stays a jackass
Yeah, well,
for most of it.
tall, lanky fuck. What?
wasn't that, he
I
wasn't
feel like
that-
that's you're holding back some aggression for him being skinny.
No,
I'm waiting on you to be like, eat a sandwich, kid.
No, no. I
It's just the way you said it.
I'm so mad that I'm fat.
That's what it
you know-
sounded like.
I've just had this pent up since 4th grade.
that is a long time. So
I mean, it catches up.
Yeah, it's just coming out now.
That's what happens when you bottle
33
up.
was the marker.
You almost made it. Almost.
If only I had died sooner.
Jesus. Oh,
No, that has nothing to do with it. I just don't like the character anymore.
I don't either. I also don't like Will.
It was a little,
Will's just like weird. I don't know.
It's weird to a point that it's
I can't relate to the character.
Will is understandable though.
Yeah,
He
he's like
is.
Literally
traumatized.
has some severe trauma.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Like, but I don't know, Mike. It just like
He's just an asshole.
Yeah.
pretty much.
Very much so.
But we all know that guy who completely changed from school and now nobody likes him.
Yeah, it's me.
Yeah. That's why I was looking at Jarrett.
No, Jared has
Jared
been
is the same.
I have never changed
Yeah.
and will never change.
Yep.
Never grow up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Never surrender.
Tim Allen. From Galaxy Quest.
Okay. I was thinking more like Red Dawn.
You never give up, never surrender. It's from Galaxy Quest.
I was thinking more of Red Dawn where they say the same thing.
Yeah.
But Galaxy Quest is good.
Sure.
So I guess when's the next season come out? Do we know yet?
No.
Everything seems to be coming out in 24.
Yeah.
So
Probably
probably 24.
It's supposed to be the last one, correct?
It's got to be.
Doesn't have to be.
Well,
It's kind of got to be without a time skip because they're all fucking like, in their early 20s now, or will be whenever that gets filmed probably.
Yeah.
well, I mean, like, there's a hole in the middle of Hawkins, so
Yeah.
Move somewhere else.
it's
Bring it
literally
with you.
like a gate to hell opened up in the middle of Hawkins. It seems like, well, it just gets worse, and they turn the whole planet into the upside down.
Yeah.
Trying to think of
I want the bad guys to win.
I do too.
what's his name?
Never happens. Never get a
Caleb
chance.
McLaughlin.
Yeah.
The black kid. What's his name? I can't remember
Lucas.
Lucas. I can remember his character's. I can remember his actor's name for some reason. I can't remember his character's name. He looked.
You said, I can't remember his name. I'm like, you just said
No,
it.
his character's name. I should have said that. But in between, I forget what season it was, like 1 or 2. He like grew a foot and had a mustache.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the problem with kid actors.
Yeah, I'm like,
That and the cocaine.
Well, they're all supposed to be like 18 still, but they're all 21 or over now.
they're all supposed to be
Like 16.
freshmen.
Yeah.
Freshmen?
They were freshmen this year.
Yeah.
Like in season 4,
yeah.
they were freshmen.
Well, they need to
That's what I said. Like, I feel like.
wrap that up.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, it has to be.
Yeah.
Because
Because Millie Bobby Brown, she's just 18, right?
18 or 19, something
Yeah,
like
she's
that.
like barely at the cutoff for adult. And I want to say Will, his actor. What the
No
fuck's-
snap.
Yeah, no. I want to say he's like 18 or 19 as well.
Yeah.
So they really need to either have a time skip.
Well, I don't think we're getting a time skip.
Yeah, at this point, I don't think you can.
So 5 is going to be
because
the end.
Who's your least favorite actor? Because I have one very specifically.
in the
I was wondering what you guys thought.
Show?
That's good. That's a good question, and that is very tough.
Is it. What's his name? I always forget. Charlie Heaton's character, the Will's brother.
Oh, fuck.
See? I forgot his name.
I can't remember it.
I don't remember his name either.
Why have I forgotten his name? I don't remember.
I'd probably say him.
Is it really him?
He's probably my least favorite.
Bleh.
He's kind of blah, but
Yeah.
it's not like I don't. It's not like one of those people I don't like him
I'm trying to think.
because he
Of,
doesn't really.
I'm looking it
He's
up
pretty
right now.
well, I'm trying to think of like his anybody
Jonathan.
else. Jonathan. I want to say John. I was like, that's not right.
I want to say Joe. I had the J right.
Who's yours? If you seem like
Millie Bobby Brown. I don't think any of the rest of the cast like her either. If you've seen her in interviews, like they're just like cold shouldering her all the time.
Noah's the only one that, like in interviews, they
Yeah.
seem like they really get along.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like her at all. She's okay as 13, but anything else?
You mean 11?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Oh, and 13's from House. I'm sorry.
I was like,
That's a good show too.
All right, so now that we've talked shit on the actors, and I think it's more the character than it is the actor.
No, because I really hate her.
No,
as,
I mean for me.
Oh,
With Jonathan, because I just don't like that character whatsoever.
just kind of a-
and because he's so blah, I feel like he would be that way. He looks that way in real life.
yeah.
but you wouldn't know, but he does coke.
Because
You wouldn't. Oh my God. Color me shocked. Somebody in Hollywood does cocaine.
what's the Sherlock Holmes show with Millie Bobby Brown?
It's not a show. It's 2 movies.
It's two
Whatever,
movies,
it's
but
the same
Enola
thing.
Holmes.
Yeah.
You know, they're
I
whatever.
really don't like her in that either. I just think I don't like her.
They're not our demographic. We're not their demographic.
It's
They're meant for like, young girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
still I can sit there and enjoy the acting, but I can't
Sure.
with Millie Bobby Brown. So
You're just sexist. Go ahead. Respond.
Respond.
I
What do you got in
mean-
the barrel for that, shithead?
Nancy is a great actor. Whatever her name is. I don't remember actors' names.
What is the fuck her? I know her real name, and it's gonna bother me that I can't think of it.
I forgot. I did know.
I just had it pulled up.
Something Dwyer.
Natalia
Natty.
Dyer.
Natalie.
Dyer.
Natalia. Whatever.
Natty.
Natty. Natty Light.
Oh my goodness.
Moving on.
Moving on. Let's go. So there's a connection here that I'm making, and it's a very shitty
In your
connection.
brain.
No. He said Enola Holmes,
Sure.
which has Henry Cavill in it.
Yeah.
So
he's
therefore,
fucking awesome in that. He's great
he
in
is.
those movies.
He's the saving grace. So now we're gonna go to The Witcher. That's
he-
the connection I'm
Who
making.
he is also the saving grace of.
Yes.
And they're
Fucking just pushing him out the door.
yeah.
It's so stupid.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about The Witcher.
I do because I love that show.
It's really good.
There's
like
one
the
thing
show.
I hate about it though, and it's everybody else ages except for the three people, which is Jaskier, Geralt, and Yennefer.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else ages. I get why Geralt and Yennefer don't age because of magic.
I thought that they
and
kind of. I
mutations.
thought they kind of made Jaskier age a little
That
bit.
man looks the exact
Well, yeah,
same.
they
the
made- I
entire,
feel like
even
they-
in season 2, he looks the same.
Well, they gave him a haircut or did something with his hair, didn't they?
If they did something with hair, he doesn't look older.
Sure.
He looks the same, and he's just a human bard. Why is he? I don't know, but
Maybe he's not fully human. Maybe he's
maybe. I don't
got
know.
a little something else in him.
As far as I know, he's human from the games, but obviously the writers are taking their own liberties and
Especially
people
now that Henry Cavill's not going to be there.
To direct traffic.
yeah, and it's disappointing because to know how big of a fan this has turned into a Henry Cavill podcast. To know how big of a fan Henry Cavill is of The Witcher and stuff like that, and he's like
Keeping true to characters.
and he's
the
pointing
books and
out
stuff.
like
Yeah.
that's what he's doing in the scene. He's like, I think we should do it like this because in the book this is how this happens, and he like pushes that, and then they're just like, go fuck yourself.
Well, this is like a trend recently for anything that coming from any sort of literature or game, is that the directors want to go their own direction. So they just saying like, we don't want to,
Which I
be
understand.
constrained by the literature, but that's where the popularity for it's coming from.
Are we-
Stick to it. Stop
we-
being a little shit.
Are we going to use our favorite example that we haven't watched, but Sean watched?
Which one's that?
Was Halo?
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah, I haven't
No,
watched
I
that
tried to watch
you
that.
did try to watch
I
it?
tried to watch it. Garbage.
Yeah. They just said, we'll put the Halo name on it and not.
Oh yeah, I knew that because I've seen people complain about it.
We don't want to be constrained by any previous content. It's
I
essentially what they
understand
said.
a director wanting to do that because most directors are trying to like break out and be like, look at how good this did whenever I didn't do this. But that's the issue, is that the reason people are coming to watch that show or things like that are because they want to see that story played out on a screen because they've watched it
I
or
can
they've
also-
read it
like,
or
I can
played
al-
it.
That's a good way to flush your career down a toilet.
Sure. I can
Absolutely
also understand, like, it's certainly like the smaller niche fandoms, like The Witcher, the books. I don't necessarily know if like those translate to a wider audience. That's like there may have to be some changes in certain literature that you're like, yeah, this isn't like really gonna work for a general audience.
Well, I mean, back to the
It's
idea.
called, that's why it's adapting.
I mean, yeah.
I mean,
gotta
look
adapt.
at Lord of the Rings. I mean,
Yeah.
how much stuff did they leave out from the books? If
Or
you've read the
change.
books, and it's a big fandom, and it worked out really well for Peter Jackson. And like, there's time for editing, but you also have to attempt to stay true to the major
Don't
points.
throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Yeah, You have
And
to-
that was one of the things is they made some like monster changes are the ones that are coming to mind where they use the name, but it's very much like Stranger Things. They use the name, but they completely change the design of it or the way it works or the way it dies even. And they just let that be gone and changed it completely. And I think that's where, from what I'd read, Henry Cavill was getting mad at because he's like, this monster only dies by cutting its head off. And we killed it by setting it on fire, which is, to a degree, neither here nor there.
But if they're not listening to stuff like that, which is probably pretty easy to
It's
fix,
an easy change. Yeah. I mean, how hard
They're
is it to
probably
cut
not-
somebody's head off?
they're probably not listening to him on like bigger
Yeah.
structural things that he might have a problem with. And he's the star.
But I mean, imagine
Not anymore.
watching like a live action version of Hercules stuff, like the challenges for Hercules, right?
Yeah.
And then they just fuck them all up.
He comes up, fights the Hydra, kills it by cutting off all its heads, and they don't grow back.
Yeah.
That would be weird.
That is a big point. That's what the Hydra's about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like if you cut off its head, it's gonna grow too. I mean, that's what it does. And that's exactly the type of problem that he was actively preventing from happening in the show.
Yeah.
And I think without that guidance, you're going to end up with something like Halo.
Oh, I'm sure that
Sure.
a large majority of people that watch it will watch season 3 and then
Do you have a toilet flushing sound on your little soundboard there?
No, I
Because that's
don't.
exactly what
It'll
it should
get
sound
canceled
like.
after season 4, which is a shame because
yeah,
Because it's been really good. It's been really
But
good.
we'll get one more good season, hopefully.
Yeah, we'll get season
Unless-
3, which will be decent.
Unless they fucked it up so bad, that's why. Which is
I mean, it could have been because
kind of what I was reading into it. That he was just like,
and who knows that it could have
bye.
started with like season 2, them making little changes like I mentioned, and then season 3 they just were like, no, we're gonna do whatever the fuck we want, and you're just gonna act.
But at the same time, like the writing team for the Rings of Power said the same thing when they first started telling us about the show, was that they left the books behind to write their own thing, but they didn't really, because they stuck to the story for the most part. But
they adapted it.
They adapted it, which is good, and I think it turned out well. Some other people who have no taste don't think so, but
Why did you look at Tyler when you said that?
well,
For me, it's mediocre. It's not great. It's not bad.
but you're not sitting here complaining about it.
No.
Yeah.
I won't actively tell somebody, don't fucking watch that. It sucks.
Yeah.
It's not that bad. If you want to watch it, watch it. So I guess, I don't want to talk about standout actors in The Witcher because we're just going to bring up,
The 3.
yeah, it's Geralt, Yennefer, and Jaskier, which
Yeah.
I don't know their actual fucking names. But
I mean, yeah.
I mean, Henry Cavill. That's the
I mean,
only one I
there's
can
some-
tell you.
there's some
Daddy
side-
Cavill gets his mention.
There's some side characters that were really good.
Yeah, the
dragon?
The first episode of season 2 had Tormund without his beard.
Yes, that is true.
I forget his act. It's like it's
Something weird.
it's a
Scandinavian
name.
Yeah.
I have no idea how to say it. But he was good. Didn't recognize him without his beard. Recognized his voice.
Yeah.
It's always funny whenever you recognize a voice more than you do the person.
Yeah.
Which I do that a lot because I watch a lot of anime, so I'll hear a voice and I'm like, and I won't know their actual name.
Like that's that person in that anime.
It's like, that's Loxus from Fairy Tale.
You could just suffice to say that The Witcher's casting so far has been above par.
Sure.
Yeah, it's been fine. I mean,
I don't remember anything.
there's nobody that I've been like, I absolutely hate this actor as this.
Right.
Like, not that I can think
It
of.
was the head witch lady. She
Head
was really
witch
good.
lady.
That trained Yennefer. That was
Oh,
like
yeah.
And
yeah.
both teacher and antagonist for Yennefer. And
Joey Beatty is Jaskier. That's his name.
I thought she was really good. She really did a good job.
She did. I'll agree with that. And then Anya Cholrata.
Yeah.
Chaltra. And then Freya Allen is Ciri, which we haven't seen that much of. It'll be interesting to see because she has powers. I know in the game. I don't know about the books because I can't read, so I haven't read those.
I believe she also gets.
I mean, I'm sure she would because from what I know, the games stick to the story fairly well, at least. So it'll be interesting to see her get her powers and use them a little bit.
In season 1, I was really worried about them doing the deformed Yennefer and how they were going to do it, but it ended up being pretty good. It was grotesque, but it wasn't unbearable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it makes sense.
yeah,
She traded away her.
the beautification.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd do it. I'd trade away my uterus for beauty.
I don't have a uterus.
I don't either.
Yeah, so I feel like you'd have to trade away something else.
Probably my testicles. And I don't need them no
I have
more.
to say, I feel
So-
like, still not seeing the downside here.
It's all ups, baby. It'd say something if you're just going to give me dirty looks.
Don't make faces.
We're not a video podcast for the I feel like we talk about this every fucking episode.
Just don't know why we're talking about giving away our private parts.
To be beautiful. You just had a problem with being fat earlier. You're telling me you wouldn't give
I
away.
didn't have a problem with it. You'd had a problem with it. You brought it up.
You're the one that was talking about that skinny bitch.
I said tall, lanky fuck. I didn't say anything else about it. And then you brought up.
Lanky is a word for skinny.
Why are we back on this subject?
Because you feel like being a shit.
Yeah,
so do I.
I'm gonna go home and cry now.
I'm okay with
Just
that.
calling me out on it.
Do it on the
Wah.
podcast. We'll get more views. I like that he said wah. All right, fuck it. Let's get back on track to my favorite show on this list,
Sure, definitely.
The Boys. It's such a good show. I love it.
Ethan looks.
I feel like he
concerned.
doesn't love it.
No, it's fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah, no, there's nothing bad to say about
know,
this
it's-
show.
Nah.
Outside of, if you're not over the age of 21, I don't think you should watch it.
Fuck, 25 at least.
I don't know if I'm old enough to watch some of
I've
that.
mentally been scarred by watching this show.
Like, I don't know, the penis blowing up inside, like, I mean,
Listen, they crossed the line. We all know they crossed the line. They've been towing that fucking line every
I
season.
felt like they crossed the line and they crossed it again.
they crossed the line in
When
season
fucking
1, and it
Eminem
doesn't.
got blasted by the fucking comment. I fucking died. I was like, what am I fucking watching? I can't,
Yeah, they put fucking Jensen Ackles in a show to get people to watch it. Because, no. Hear me out. The people that were obsessed with Supernatural
Sure.
that had not watched The Boys
all,
yet,
all 15,000 of us.
I guarantee you
Yeah, it was a lot.
that they started watching The Boys for Jensen Ackles because there's so many people I seen that was like, oh my God, Jensen Ackles is going to be in The Boys. I got to watch it now.
I watched it before Jensen was in it.
I did too. Which Jensen's character I fucking love.
I feel like we're going to keep him around.
They are.
Yep.
They have to.
Oh, well, yeah.
He's loved by too much of the audience
Yep.
to just have him for a season and then freeze him again.
It's surprisingly how easy I hate people. Because watching The Boys, like, they really make you hate some of the characters.
Oh yeah.
Oh, man. They're just trash people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what?
And I love that.
I do too. And that's the same. We talked about this on the House of the Dragon episode. We talked about how they made the Greens more likable.
Yeah.
Like tried to make them. I don't need them to be more likable. No. I'm okay with hating some people
Oh, yeah.
because like Homelander, fucking hate him.
Well, it's not even that. And then they bring you around to actually like some people that you hated before, like
Maeve.
like Maeve. Like I really didn't like her in the beginning. It seemed like she was just given in too easily, and then
A Train. He's
A-Train's really easy to hate.
He's
just
so
a
easy
cunt.
to hate.
Man,
to quote Billy Butcher, you cunt.
You cunt.
I don't know. What's his name? Gilboy.
The Deep.
Oh
The
yeah,
Deep,
he's,
the Deep.
He's very easy to hate as well.
But you also feel sorry
You
for
feel
him.
To a degree.
So sorry.
That's
for
the
him.
one where you're like, man, I kind of want shit to work out for him, but when it doesn't,
And
it's
then when
fucking hilarious.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the thing is, it starts to work out for him, and then he
Every
fucks
time.
a fish, and you're like, I kind of wish it wouldn't have worked out for you.
I
No,
don't know.
I
Sorry,
find it-
octopus, not
I
a
find
fish.
it
It's so funny because like
gets more funny every time.
okay,
I don't.
the earliest thing where he's trying to do the right thing, but it's in totally the wrong way. The dolphin.
Yeah.
It's
God
just
damn it.
it's so good and it's so bad at the same time because you feel so bad for him.
It's always the first scene I show somebody if I'm trying to give them. I'm like, watch this scene. If you don't like this scene, this show's not for you.
Yeah.
Like, you can't watch it.
He's gonna save the whale.
I do. There's so much about it that
It's ridiculous, but in all the good ways.
and you said you just think it's funny every time they bring it back up. I can't.
I think it's fun because I know when it gets brought back up, something bad's gonna happen. I go.
I mean, yeah, but still, I can't deal with seeing him fucking octopus. I can't. I don't know why it bothers me as much as it does, but it fucking bothers me.
I think we
You
found.
watch a lot of anime. It's
Yeah.
okay to watch it when it's animated, right?
Yeah.
No, it's not. It
fine.
bothers me then
Oh,
too.
Mr. Like, oh, it's anime. Tentacle porn in anime is fine, but in real
I
life,
don't.
it's not
First,
fine.
hold on. Let's clear something up. I do not watch hentai. I don't think I've ever seen tentacle. I've watched Reincarnated as Slime. And I
Yep.
think there's some tentacles in there. Either way, not okay. I don't like it.
It's fine. We found his trigger point.
It is. It's probably the only trigger point I have. There's not a lot that bothers me, but something about fucking an octopus does. I think it's because I know that octopuses have beaks.
That would make sense to me.
It's a pain thing for me.
Just cut the beak out first.
But that's painful. He doesn't like to hurt the animal.
Eh,
He sure looked like he didn't have a good time eating that octopus.
that's true.
I almost said octopussy.
Well, I mean,
Moving on.
no. Let's stay on. This
No. We're here. We've dug this trench. We're staying in it.
Yep.
No, we're not. We're moving on.
Yeah.
I'm talking about characters that we like and hate. Starlight.
Yeah.
I liked her early on, and then now I don't hate her.
You just dislike her more.
I dislike her more.
The more angsty she gets, the more I dislike her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the more that she is like telling Huey to stop.
But we got kind of know she's also right. Like we're like,
there's a point where, as an adult, you can be right, but it doesn't fucking matter. That person can do whatever the fuck they want to do.
Fucking Huey, god damn it.
Yeah, I can't say I would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
In fact, I probably would have took it more often than he did, just because of the fact that I could teleport everywhere now. That's the other thing. Compound V. They changed that. I read this the other day. They changed it from the books, or from the comics, because it's a comic book, right?
Yep.
Okay. So they changed it from the comic. Compound V, if you give it to a soup, is kind of like a Coke.
Yeah.
Like it amps, or not even Coke, more like a steroid.
It's a steroid.
Just kind of amps them up. And then if you give it to just someone who's not prepared for the drug, I guess, it kills them or something like that.
It has, much like in the show, I think it can just kill you if you're not.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it says in the show. Yeah. That's what it does in the show.
But also, I don't think in the show there's no, in the book, in the comic book, there's no long-lasting effects from it. And from what I remember.
Like just taking the short-term dose?
From what I remember. But I feel like they're just going to hand wave that away and be like, we fixed it.
Probably. They'll probably have somebody figure out how to fix Billy. And
we can't have Billy die.
Yeah. Who's going to yell, "Oi, cunt"?
Oi, cunt.
Also, while you were talking, don't know what made me think of it. I was thinking of Homelander fucking his mother.
Oh, God.
And that led me to think of Jensen Ackles going, "I beat my meat into a cup." That's why, I don't know if you've seen it, but I was starting to laugh while you were talking. And it's because my brain went, "I beat my meat into a cup." And immediately was thinking about it for some reason.
Yeah.
If you're going to watch this show, you haven't watched it yet. So if you're going to watch it,
it's like our show. Don't have your kids around.
Really good, but it has the most uncomfortable scenes for me of any show I've ever seen. And that's the whole milk thing.
Oh, God.
Yeah, every time.
Oh, it's so weird. And then it got weirder after she died, and he had the shape change guy doing it. I'm like, and then he changes back. He's like, change back. And like, oh
and then
my
he
God.
just fucking starts sucking off a cow.
That one was weird. That was the weirdest part to me.
That was entertaining, though.
That was probably the least weird of the situation.
That was the least weird.
The weirdest part was
human. All right, that's weird. But I'm like, now you're gonna go suck a cow's tit. All right, that's a little weird.
I feel like that's no different. I mean, it's a little different, but it's no different than pulling it into a cup and then drinking it.
I don't, maybe it's a me problem, but I always find that the most disgusting thing. If you read Game of Thrones, and whenever Jilly and Sam are getting it on, she's still breastfeeding the child, and he's talking about
getting hit with the milk.
No, drinking her milk while they're having sex.
Ugh.
And to me, that is one of the most disgusting things I can think of.
Sometimes it's a good thing that shows leave some shit out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's true. Yep. It's true.
Unfortunately, The Boys does not do that.
Nope.
If they added stuff in.
They definitely that in the comics. I do not recall there being a fucking giant penis
exploding.
I'm pretty sure they didn't have her. AJ's girlfriend, the soup, squeezing that guy's head and popping it. I don't think that was in the books either.
Not. I don't remember.
That
definitely sounds like something though, where fucking she's getting ate out in blood. Yeah, that sounds like something that actually would happen in the comics though.
Yeah,
I think I remember reading it wasn't in the comics, but I could be wrong.
Who knows? At this point, I don't care though about this one.
It doesn't
bother me as much.
You're desensitized.
Yeah, very much so. It's so bad. All right. Any actors, actresses that stand out in The Boys?
Yeah.
Carl Urban is always a good choice.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then for this, he is the most supreme choice. He's so good.
He's so good at hating soups and being willing to do whatever.
It's my favorite thing he's ever done.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I like him in almost everything he's in. He was really good as Bones.
Yep.
He was really good in Star Trek.
Yeah,
And then
You look confused because
Yeah.
you were.
I was.
yeah.
The thing I remember him from is from Thor Ragnarok.
Oh,
Sure.
This
yeah.
is Dez and Troy.
He was Aemir in
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings.
He's Judge Dredd
He was
in the Dredd movie.
the first time I ever saw him was Cupid in Xena Warrior Princess.
Yeah.
And he was like wearing a thong and wings,
Interesting.
Like a cherub.
like a large muscular cherub.
Hey, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Anybody else? I think the actor for Huey, I don't know his name.
Jack Quaid.
Yeah,
It's Dennis Quaid's son.
yeah. I knew that. I just couldn't remember his name. I think he does a fantastic job at seeming like an anxious little bitch.
Oh.
Also, Anthony Stark,
Yeah.
Homelander.
Which-
That man, if you've ever seen, I've seen videos with Quaid,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like taking a video talking to Homelander, not Homelander, but Anthony Starr, and he's just got this fucking look on his face, and you're like, this man is Homelander. Like,
Yeah.
thank God he doesn't have fucking powers because we'd all be dead.
So because of him playing Homelander, I went and watched another show he was in called Banshee, which is equally as fucking like brutal. Not like grotesquely brutal, but it's like physically like brutal. You're like, holy shit. Some fucking awful shit happens in that show.
Yeah.
He has the same like demented, like fucking like weird look in his eyes.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen anybody on anything look more psychotic.
Yeah.
I think we may need to check on that man.
No, let him go.
Got some
let him have
bodies
it.
in his basement or something.
I think my favorite like inclusion, because it's just a wink to the comics, is Simon Pegg as Huey's dad, because Huey is based on Simon Pegg,
Yeah.
the character. So I'm like, they got him in here. That's like, I'm like, hey, keep him working.
Keep it more.
I was really surprised to see Haley Joel Osment.
Oh yeah, that's a weird.
That was a
weird
weird thing because he's also kind of weird though because he grew up, but his face didn't. It's the same size as from when he was in Sixth Sense, but he's
with a beard.
Just
large.
has
He's
a
in an
beard.
adult body
Yeah.
now, and it's just like this little tiny face and a ball of fat.
He's not
It's-
wrong.
His head grew, but his face didn't.
Right?
Yeah.
It's really weird. Yeah.
You can
So
look
he
at
covers it up with the beard.
yeah, you can look at that man and
works
you're
out
like,
better that way.
that's the kid from Sixth Sense.
Yeah, you could.
Like, there's no doubt from it.
Yeah.
Just
You know,
tiny.
like some people they'll grow up and they look a little bit different. And you're like, man, they kind of look weird.
It's just in a body condom full of lard.
I don't like that sentence whatsoever. Body condom full of lard. I'm gonna remember that because that may be the title of this episode.
It's a new character idea for Jamie.
Yeah, that sounds right.
He wouldn't understand it. All right, let's finishing that up. Let's jump into our honorable mentions of TV shows you should watch. Jarrett, you made this, so why don't you start us?
I'm not gonna go all these. This is just kind of like
No, you can just mention them.
sure. I am particularly fond of most of these shows. The Last Kingdom, which is on Netflix, which is like Vikings but set in England.
Note, it changes drastically in the middle of the show.
Yeah,
I did
that's
watch
it.
most of
does it
this.
really?
First or I can't remember if it's first or second season.
It's
it's the second season.
the end of second season.
Yeah.
It changes drastically
Because it was a BBC show and then it goes to
It's really
Netflix.
dry.
Mm-hmm.
It's really dry up until it changes, but when it changes, it's super good.
Gotcha.
The Expanse, which me and Ethan both really like.
I've read all the books too, and
It's a sci-fi show, so
it's really good. It sticks really closely
Mm-hmm.
to the books. It's really, really excellent. It's but for sci-fi, it sticks to more realistic physics.
yeah, it's interesting sci-fi, which I
Yeah.
find is rare these days.
Yeah.
Well, it's from a book series written by I can't remember his name.
Isn't it like two people?
It
It's two people under one pen name? Or
yeah,
something like that? Yeah.
yeah, and I can't remember the pen name, but
can't remember
but they're closely tied to George R. R. Martin.
Yeah.
They're
I
in
do
that same
remember.
kind of group of authors.
Westworld, which just got canceled, so,
Sad day.
You can
First
watch
season is some
all
of the
it
best.
here soon.
Yeah. Yeah. First season is some of the best television I've ever seen. It kind of drops off in, like, narrative quality after that.
It's on HBO Max.
Yeah.
If you
But
want to
it's-
watch it.
Really...
Where's the expanse? Did you say where the expanse
Oh,
is?
Amazon Prime. I did not. Yeah. Wheel of Time, which I haven't finished, but I'm going to. It's kind of dry.
I didn't care for it. I
said-
got like 6 episodes in. I'm done.
I said I genuinely like the shows. This one, just if you like fantasy, try it. It may hit with you. I don't know.
Where can they watch that?
It's
Also
not-
on Amazon Prime.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. It's
Is
just
that
kind of boring.
Is that the one you were watching the other day?
No, that's the Peripheral.
Okay.
Also on Amazon Prime, but it's okay. I don't know if I'd say it's good. It's okay. Cobra Kai, which
Is on Netflix.
it's on Netflix.
If you've watched The Karate Kid,
Yeah.
all of them,
God damn it.
unfortunately.
I haven't watched Cobra Kai.
It's so interesting how they just
It's cheesy.
it's cheesy. So if you like a serious show, don't watch it. But if you like want to have like fun,
It's like 80s action cheesy.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Totally.
that sounds great.
It's literally
karate solves everything.
absolutely.
That's yeah.
Yeah, World Hunger.
It's fucking amazing.
Okay, I'm good with this.
The Umbrella Academy, I haven't caught up the
Netflix.
last season, but it's on Netflix. It's interesting, I guess. If
I would say it's more interesting than it is exciting.
yeah,
I think I watched like 3 episodes. It just didn't hook me, so I didn't.
No, it wouldn't until towards the end of
Yeah.
season 1. It's entertaining if you like interesting conversation twists. So if you think more along the lines of like the interactions between the spider and Littlefinger.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's the type of conversations that we're talking about.
Gotcha.
Shadow and Bone, which is also on Netflix, it has 1 season and it has a 2nd season coming out relatively soon.
I think so.
It's got Ben Barnes in it. I'll always watch me some Ben Barnes because he's fucking just like he's always so good at being a fucking shifty shithead, which is what he is in this show. And True Blood, not a good show, but god damn it, is Joe Manganiello and fucking Alexander Skarsgård just entertaining to watch. 2 muscular men just being,
Muscular man.
Just
like-
being bros.
they're not really friends in the show. They're just both like really,
It's a joke, Jared. Yeah.
but they're there. They're entertaining.
It's a little bit older of a show, but
It's older, yeah.
I've
Oh,
seen
yeah, it's
parts
about-
of it.
It's about
alright.
vampires and werewolves and that sort of shit. So
Yeah. I want to add Manifest. It's on Netflix.
yep,
It
I
is-
watched like half the first season.
So it wasn't always a Netflix show only.
No, it was
It was on actual TV. I don't know what it was.
ABC or NBC, one of those two.
I think ABC. And then it got pulled to just Netflix.
yeah, it got
'Cause
canceled
now-
and then they picked it up
yeah. And
during COVID, I think.
it was during COVID. Well, that's where they finished it. I think they
Well,
picked it up
I
before
think
COVID.
it got put on Netflix during COVID, and everybody was inside, so they watched it, and Netflix was like, "Oh,
I thought Netflix picked it up before then.
they might have," but
They filmed, because the season I'm watching right now, they filmed during COVID, because every episode at the end of it has this was filmed
Yep.
during COVID using safety protocols
Yep.
or some shit like that. I think it's very good. It's about people on a plane that
go
get-
missing for
they go missing for 5 years, and
Yeah.
then they magically come back and they can see. They get
I-
visions.
I didn't even get that far in the show. I got to like halfway through, and I was like, "Eh."
So they get visions, and they have to try and like solve. It's basically a
Yeah.
puzzle. It's a mystery type
It
thing.
reminds me of like the 4400 and Lost put together, where like people go missing, and then there's like this weird mystery in the background also at the same time. Where you're like, we gotta solve it.
An older show that's finished now that I thought was pretty good was The 100.
I don't know if I could. I've loved The 100. God damn, is that show just take like it's a roller coaster.
It's a roller coaster, and
It's also a CW show, so
It is.
the quality is
Questionable.
questionable at best.
it kind of goes back and forth.
Yeah.
It to me, the 100 feels a lot like Agents of Shield,
Sure, it starts
Yeah.
really grounded,
and then it goes
then it goes
really weird directions for
fucking off the rails.
no reason at
And
all.
it seems like every season would go in a complete, you'd be going north,
You're
and then the next season
exactly
you're
right.
going fucking south, and
That's
then the
the
next
only-
season you're going west,
the only
then
way
you're
they
going west.
It's the only the way they could keep people interested,
and then
Yeah.
up, and then straight up.
Yeah.
and then they just turn into light in the sky.
Yep.
Sorry if I ruined that show for you, but goddamn, is that just the ending is weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's funny though. You talk about it being a CW show. I feel like CW shows for like 2 to 3 seasons, they're generally pretty good, and
They're watchable.
They kind of stay on track, and then after about 3 seasons,
They lose their steam.
yeah, even Supernatural, it got about 5, and then the next few were kind of
And then it picked back up, and then it went back down again.
yeah, 15 fucking seasons, man.
Long ass time.
such a long time. It's ridiculous. Have you ever watched it?
100?
No, Supernatural.
Supernatural.
Oh, I watched part of it. No,
I both recommend it and don't recommend
it's
it.
a lot.
It's like trying to
is a
recommend One
lot.
Piece to somebody.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
it's a time investment.
It is a time investment.
I'm not willing to take that time investment, no. Unfortunately, because I know it's good because I've watched enough of it to know that it's good. But I can't really quantify.
It's bad that I kind of miss it.
Something feels off in the world, right? Like,
yeah.
So here's the best thing: they still do the conventions, so you still get your Jared Jensen like.
Oh, yeah.
If you just look up the videos on
Yeah.
YouTube.
My mom was going to go to one. And then I think COVID happened and she couldn't.
But yeah,
Any shows that you'd recommend, Ethan?
Live action?
Yeah.
yeah.
No, throw out an anime. Fuck it.
Actually, you know what? Do throw out anime. Fuck
No,
it.
I don't know.
I was just trying to put him on the spot, see if he could come up with one. Or,
He can't.
No.
He barely got through an episode of Chainsaw Man.
That's true.
Great British Bake Off. It's fantastic. It's really entertaining.
Sure.
It's got bread in it. Okay, I love bread.
You lost me. You brought me back in.
It's mostly about bread and cookies. Okay,
Solid.
it's entertaining.
But other than that, any actual story-driven shows?
Yeah.
I say that would be a story driven show.
It's not. No, it's not.
No, you've hit most of the ones that I really like. The Expanse, Witcher, Stranger Things, The Boys. So I mean, not really.
No.
I mean, I think the latest one I watched was Umbrella Academy. It's really good. It's really good.
I've got a bunch in my list to watch.
I watched a bunch of shit, so there's stuff where I'm like, I've watched it. I don't know if I'd recommend it.
Yeah. There's so much shit that I want to watch, but I just haven't. Because I need to watch with my wife because she wants to spend time together and watch this show together, and then we work opposite shifts and fucking never see each other.
I'm the same way. So I tend to watch shows.
It's almost like I could watch it on my own.
I'll get like
I have done that.
I'll get like 2 or 3 seasons into a show, and then I'm like, meh, it's not so good anymore. I think the only one that I've ever not done that with was like House.
That's just because you're there for House. Like, pretty
Yeah,
much
you're there to
for
see him.
For him and,
Because the character doesn't change that much.
what's his name? Foreman and Wilson.
And Wilson, yeah. And it's just a really good show.
You're there for the banter.
The dialogue is fantastic.
Fuck. Letterkenny.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You should watch Letterkenny.
I've watched a lot of Letterkenny.
I know you have. I just meant like I'm talking to the people. They should watch
The
Letterkenny.
peeps, yeah.
Well, you looked straight at me.
I did look straight at
You
you,
keep
but
doing that. I don't like it.
I like to look at people when I talk to them.
I
Sorry.
look in between you guys.
Well, I'm in between you guys,
Well, if
so
we're
I
gonna
just
go,
look at.
if we're gonna go that far, just Trailer Park Boys. I mean,
God.
it's so good.
It's so fucking stupid, and I love it.
It's wonderful.
It is wonderful.
If you're not into like anything raunchy, though, there is a really nice Canadian like version of that called Corner Gas.
Isn't
It is-
Trailer Park Boys the Canadian version?
No,
They're in Canada.
I know, but it's not the Canadian. It's like the American. It's like
It's
how
like they're-
Americans view Canada. Corner Gas is how Canadians view Canada.
They could have set that anywhere in America.
Yeah,
For
I know.
Trailer Park Boys, and I would have believed it. The fact that it's in Canada, I have a harder time believing.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Is like it doesn't feel like Canada. It feels like, a 30-mile drive from where we are now.
I'm off the cheeseburgers. Listen here, Rand. Motherfuckers with guts like that ain't off the cheeseburgers. I love that show. I'm going to watch it again now. It's another one that's a time investment, too, though. So is Letterkenny, honestly.
Yeah, how many seasons? Like
There's a fucking lot.
11, 12, 13, something like that?
I want to say we're at like 13.
But
now.
they're also shorter seasons. They're like
Yes,
8
they're
or
like
10 episode seasons or something like that. And
there's 68 episodes total.
yeah,
10 seasons.
10 seasons.
And they're like 20-minute episodes.
But goddamn, are those cold opens? Those cold opens.
The
are
cold
so-
opens are so good.
Speaking of cold open, well, like, what about Always Sunny?
Yes.
Oh, sure.
Oh,
God,
my
we
goodness.
missed out on so much of the TV.
Yeah, no. Jared, you wrote this list out. What's wrong with you?
I wrote my list out.
Oh,
I know that you like Always Sunny.
I stopped watching Always Sunny just because I was just like,
Fucking disrespectful piece of shit. The
I
podcast
watched like
is over.
10 seasons of Sunny. Sorry,
Always
I fell
Sunny.
off.
Just skip season 1.
No, watch season 1. It's so shitty because they filmed it with a fucking shitty camera. Like, it's literally...
It's not terrible, but it's not Danny
first-
DeVito.
The
I
first
don't
episode
care.
is
It's
bad.
still fucking hilarious.
The first episode is really shitty.
Yeah.
Everything after that's fine. But
Yeah,
sorry, I didn't keep up. What were we on season 15 now or something?
I think so. 14.
So I watched 10 seasons. Oh, my bad.
Fucking catch up, bitch.
It just gets more and more ridiculous as you go through, and it's just
And
so
it's
wonderful.
So fucking funny.
It's so wonderful.
I'm playing both sides so that I always come out on top.
No, you ain't. Oh man, I love that show so much.
It makes me think of the glory hole episode.
Fucking
Like, this is the
goddamn it.
glory hole. I'm gonna go get the duct tape. It's like, yeah, but what you're not thinking of, Frank, is that most of the time there's a dude on the other side of this hole. I'll just imagine it's a chick. They're like, yeah, but that still makes you gay. I was like, well, what if the other guys imagine it's a chick? How's he gonna do that with a dick in his mouth? That's the fucking quote that I love. Oh, all right. We need to wrap this up.
Well, I have one last question though.
Sure.
Okay, we talked about the shows we like.
Mm-hmm.
What's a show that really disappointed you?
Disappointed me.
Or
Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
That didn't even disappoint me that much.
Well, you're wrong
Yeah, you're wrong.
because that was mine.
It's disappointing.
It had good moments.
I had too high of expectations.
Yeah,
probably.
the credits.
Again, that
The credits were really good because it ended.
fuck.
I was disappointed because it was the show that I wanted for so long. I wanted Ewan McGregor back as Obi-Wan, and then it wasn't great.
They should have done Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader. No, Darth Maul. Darth Maul instead.
Yeah.
Instead of Vader.
They just don't want to retread ground that they've already done in like Rebels and stuff like that. I
Well,
understand
who
why.
cares?
I understand why they didn't. I also would have liked to seen it
They shit on all the books. Why don't they just shit on the other TV shows?
because they're trying. It's like a Disney thing. They're trying to keep it all nice and neat and tidy and canon, right? So there's not multiple versions of events.
So this one didn't disappoint me, but I just seen it and it reminded me of it. Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It's a good. I think it's funny. Andy Samberg's great. I'm looking through a list of like the top 250 TV shows to find out which one bothers me.
Big Bang was actually one of my more disappointing ones because it started out pretty good and then it just got campy and terrible. And
That's like sitcoms though. Like they kind of just
Yeah.
slide
it's like
down into hell back where they belong.
yeah. Like how many sitcoms?
Hot in Cleveland didn't. That was
have-
fantastic.
Yeah, but how many seasons does Hot in Cleveland have? Like 4 or something like that?
Six, I think.
Something like that. When you have something like Big Bang Theory or How I Met Your Mother or Friends, you can't keep that.
I only started watching Hot in Cleveland because of the Community.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is another great live action show. I mean, if you're looking for a good comedy, it's pretty good. But it also slides kind of
It
down.
does slide.
Yeah. Once Donald Glover leaves,
Yeah.
it's no good.
I still haven't finished it. I never finished season 6
Don't bother.
because there's no reason to.
Yeah. There's no Donald Glover. What's the point?
What's the point?
There's no more butt stuff.
He makes his presence makes the show. Like he's not like the central character of the show, but his presence in that show makes the show enjoyable.
I may
true.
get shit on for this opinion, but Yellowstone. I think I
no.
went into that with too high of expectations, knowing
Wow.
it was like thinking it was going to be knowing it was going to be Sons of Anarchy, but with horses,
Yeah,
and just kind of meh.
it's
It's not bad.
No, it's
just
fine.
not-
I
yeah.
watch it. It's
Oh, I still watch it. But
enjoyable, but it's not like
I wasn't as impressed with it as I thought I would be. I don't like it as much as I like Sons of Anarchy.
Maybe it's just because you're like more motorcycle. I don't know than cowboy.
I prefer the cowboy thing, honestly. It makes more sense to me that you could murder somebody out in the in Montana and get away with it versus fucking wherever the shit.
California,
Yeah. I don't remember where exactly.
somewhere like up in Northern California. I don't
Yeah.
remember where, but
If you're wanting like Sons of Anarchy, but in the Wild West, just go play Red Dead Redemption. It's so good.
Yeah, it's a good game. All right, let's wrap everything up for the 17th time because I know I said it at the start of the episode.
Yeah. You did.
I
you
did.
got to wrap it up at the beginning and wrap it up at the end. Then you get
You do the twisty
Twisty things.
and you get the little like party favorites.
My brain went straight to never do it unwrapped. Life advice, kids. So if you want to find us and talk to us more, you can find us on Discord. You can find us on Facebook. Links to those, a link to the Discord will be posted in the description, and a link to the Facebook page can be found at anchor.fm/chaotically-nerdy. You can find a link to the Discord there. You can talk to everybody but Jarrett because he's back on the train of I don't talk to anybody.
I'm just not on my computer anymore.
Loser. Who doesn't get on their computer? Jesus. And that'll wrap everything up for the 18th time. Sorry. We appreciate you guys listening. We hope you join us for the next one.
That's what you should name this. That's called the wrap up.
The wrap.